Hi, I'm Lauren, and I would like to welcome you to today's session. In August 2008, I was hit by a van while attempting to cross the road. I was on a night out with my friends and got distracted. As a result of my accident, I'm now paralysed and need everything to inform me. I spent 16 months in different hospitals, had life-saving operations, then had the task of totally rebuilding my life again. The aim of this session is to help everyone by raising awareness of the roads, whether you are a pedestrian, passenger or driver. I wouldn't be here sharing my story with you all today if I had concentrated on the road that night. It's as simple as that. I had been on many a night out and walked the same route home from my friend's home countless times. I like to have a drink and a laugh and didn't really have a care in the world at that point. A split-second decision that night after having a drink changed all that. Even though my accident happened on the busiest road in North Yorkshire, it was at its quietest at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. There were only two vehicles on the road, and I stepped out in front of one of them. I learned the hard way that day that the decisions we make in life have consequences. I now take every opportunity I can to share my experience and raise safety message to make people aware of the impact a decision you make can have, not only on your life, but on your family and the driver's life. It's called the ripple effect, and no one should ever underestimate how great that impact is. I like to think now, though, that if my story prevents even one person from experiencing what I've been through, then talking to people about my life and road safety is worthwhile. On behalf of the organisers, I would ask that you take the opportunity to engage in the workshops, take an active part in the sessions, and be prepared to learn. Listening could one day save your life. Remember that the decisions we all make, even the split-second decisions, can have long-lasting, life-changing consequences. It is our hope that you will all have a safe future on the roads.
Road traffic collisions happen too frequently across Herefordshire and Worcestershire. We hope this will be as close as students will ever come to a road traffic collision. This is the story behind the sirens. The aim of today is to try and reduce injury and death, for students to understand how to become safer road users, passengers, and drivers of the future. The scene you see before you involves two cars. One of the drivers is trapped in their vehicle, unable to get out. The fire service arrive on the scene and assess the situation. They work together as a team, along with the other emergency services, to stabilize the car and the casualty, and get her out of the car so she can be taken to hospital as soon as safely possible. Time is valuable. There is what's known as the golden hour, 1 hour from point of impact to being in the care of a trauma specialist to give a casualty the best chance of survival or recovery. For the casualty, 1 hour trapped in a car can feel like a lifetime.
One of the indicators will take control of the neck, okay?
The police arrest the driver of the vehicle that caused the collision. They routinely carry out breathalyzer tests after road traffic collisions and roadside drug tests where they suspect drugs have been taken. Drug driving appears to be on the increase. The swab is positive. The police give a caution and arrest the driver, who is handcuffed and taken to the police car, where he will now be dealt with by the legal system. Think about the impact on the person's life and future, and the consequences following their arrest, living with the guilt of causing the collision. The firefighters get on with extricating the casualty from the vehicle. The paramedic is constantly assessing the casualty. Think how she must be feeling, not knowing how serious her injuries may be, how terrifying it must feel being cut out of a vehicle, breaking glass inches from her face, the sound of the twisted metal of the car being cut.
Ready? Cut it!
So many people are affected when there is a collision. It is known as the ripple effect. This includes the casualty, the driver, their friends and family, witnesses, and also the emergency services. Will her life ever be the same again? The crews and paramedics are all working together to ensure the best outcome for the casualty. Her safety is at the forefront of their thoughts. They work together to minimize any impact on the spinal injuries she may have already sustained. Many road traffic collisions are preventable. We will be considering the fatal 4 behaviors which cause death and serious injury. Inappropriate speed, not wearing a seatbelt, distractions such as mobile phones and drug driving. The following presentation will reinforce the key messages on how to become safer road users, passengers, and drivers of the future. Please take an active part. We want to empower you to make positive choices and keep safe on the roads.
If you could have another chance, what would you do differently?
They give me the wrong pizza. I got pineapple on this. Sick, man. I didn't order it, did I?
Think. Always wear a seatbelt.
What you're about to see will change your mind about speeding. Two identical cars, one travelling at 60, the other at 65. A sudden change in the road ahead, and both drivers first react, and then, a moment later, they brake. And things start to get interesting. Down here, the difference is extraordinary. In the last 5 metres of braking, you wipe off half your speed. So this car is still doing 32 k's when it hits. This one also hits, but only at 5 k's. So no matter how good a driver you are, 5 k's difference up there makes 27 k's difference down here.
The simple truth about speeding is the faster you go, the longer it takes to stop. Here's a comparison. This is a car travelling at 60 kilometres an hour and braking suddenly. Here's the same car travelling at 67 kilometres an hour and braking at the exact same point. This time, the car hits, still travelling at around 30 kilometres an hour. The difference could be a matter of life or death.
My name is Sarah Greathead. This is a picture of my daughter Emma. She was killed by a speeding driver at the age of 18. I was out here in Worcester town centre on a Friday night. Emma had offered to come over and pick me up. She never made it. Her car had broken down at a service station. She was caught on security camera. These are the last images we have of her. After that, a friend spotted her and she was offered a lift. 2 minutes later, she was dead. Emma's dad and I went to the roadblock. We were told 2 cars had collided. One had become a fireball. Emma was in that car. The driver crashed at 94 miles an hour. He hit another car head-on while trying to overtake. 4 people died, but part of me also had died along with Emma. Emma had such a zest for life. She loved her job as a nursery nurse, and she loved to party with her friends. Emma had to be identified by her dental records. We couldn't even see her body to say goodbye to her. Before the funeral, we had to say our goodbyes to a closed coffin. I can see the gates of the cemetery where Emma's buried from our house. Now look me in the face and tell me you're never going to break speed limits.
Hello there.
Was I speeding?
No, you're swerving all over the road.
No. Oh, sorry.
You're right.
I'm just not well.
Okay, have you anything to drink at all tonight?
No.
Okay. Alright, do you want to just come and stand over here on the side of the road?
Yeah.
Is there a breast box in there? Is it your car?
Yeah.
Okay, have you anything to eat or drink in the last 15 minutes?
No, last night.
Okay, have you anything to smoke in the last 5 minutes?
I don't smoke anything.
Perfect. I'm going to require you to provide a specimen of breath for analysis, okay? Failing or refusing to do so is an offence, obviously, which we'd need to deal with. Have you done one of these before?
No.
Okay. Take a nice deep breath, blow steadily into the tube till I tell you to stop, okay? Blow into the tube until I tell you to stop. No, take a deep breath to start with before you make a seal around it with your lips and blow.
No, you're sucking. You
Blow. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Perfect, thank you very much. The result is 117 and the limit is 35, so at the moment you're under arrest on suspicion of driving a motor vehicle whilst over the prescribed limit of alcohol, okay? You do not have to say anything but mild defence. We do not mention when questioned something for later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Sometimes our mind wanders, and when we snap back to reality, we have no idea what we missed or how long we were gone. Daydreaming isn't the only thing that causes this inattention blindness. When we talk on the phone while driving, there are periods when we go blind to our environment without realizing it. So billboards, cars, kids playing, even stop signs and red lights can pass us by unnoticed. Certain things may seem harmless, but some activities just aren't safe to combine. Our brain is not wired to pay attention to more than one complex task at a time. What we're actually doing when we think we're multitasking is quickly shifting our focus from one activity to another. So while our mind is engaged in applying makeup, arguing with backseat drivers, fumbling for a water bottle, or a conversation, it's blind to the road. In fact, drivers are 4 times more likely to crash while talking on the phone, and 23 times more likely while texting. Driving can feel uneventful, but it really takes our full attention to keep the car on the road. We're surrounded by distractions that can hijack our focus. Whether we let them is up to us.
Hello, my name is Diana Wood. I'm talking to you today as a bereaved mum. My 19-year-old son on the 1st of June 2014 was driving to work, and for some unknown reason something made him swerve to the left. Don't know why, but he swerved. And with that he overcorrected and he took himself across the road and he hit a tree and he lost his life. However, Tom was speeding. I had many conversations with Tom. Please don't speed. I said, speed can kill, you know. And you say, Mum, don't worry about me. I'm fine. You worry about me too much. And I said, well, at the end, you don't know when anything is going to happen, and you have not got the experience behind you to deal with things that happen. I felt my life that day had finished. Part of my heart was taken. Tom was a very hard-working lad. He saved up, he worked hard, he bought himself a new car. He loved his car, he loves speeding. So all I can say is that any of you young lads that decide that you want to speed, please think of my son and slow down on the roads, and please take care and look after yourselves. This is like a grenade that's gone off in our home, something I will never ever get over. It haunts me every day of my life, words that Tom said to me. Please take care. Goodbye. Hello, my name is Diana Wood. I'm talking to you today as a bereaved mum. My 19-year-old son on the 1st of June 2014 was driving to work, and for some unknown reason something made him swerve to the left. Don't know why, but he swerved. And with that he overcorrected and he took himself across the road and he hit a tree and he lost his life. However, Tom was speeding. I had many conversations with Tom. Please don't speed. I said, speed can kill, you know. And you say, Mum, don't worry about me. I'm fine. You worry about me too much. And I said, well, at the end, you don't know when anything is going to happen, and you have not got the experience behind you to deal with things that happen. I felt my life that day had finished. Part of my heart was taken. Tom was a very hard-working lad. He saved up, he worked hard, he bought himself a new car. He loved his car, he loves speeding. So all I can say is that any of you young lads that decide that you want to speed, please think of my son and slow down on the roads, and please take care and look after yourselves. This is like a grenade that's gone off in our home, something I will never ever get over. It haunts me every day of my life, words that Tom said to me. Please take care. Goodbye.
walking these days. These days I seem to think a lot about the things that I forgot to do. And all the times I had the chance to. I stopped my rambling. I don't do too much gambling these days. These days I seem to think about how all the changes came about my way. And I wonder if I'd see another I don't think I risk another these days. These days. And if I seem to be afraid to live the life that I have made in song, it's just that I've been losing so. Stop my dreaming. I won't do too much scheming these days. These days I sit on cornerstones and count the time in quarter turns to 10. Please don't confront me with my failure. I had not forgotten them.
The role of a police officer is not an easy one. How many times have you gone past a collision or perhaps been held up in traffic seeing the blue lights ahead of you? But have you ever wondered what happened and what caused it? Many collisions happen because someone has taken a risk, whether that's a risk of one alcoholic drink at the pub, or pulling out of a junction too quickly, exceeding the speed limit, or checking their phone while they're driving. But have you ever thought of the consequences of the risks you take? Mixing driving with drinking or drugs is one of those risks. And taking the risk of just one alcoholic drink at the pub can push you over the limit. And a drink drive conviction can have a lasting effect. Most drivers aren't aware that we can also check at the roadside for drugs, such as cannabis and cocaine. As a young driver, having a drug conviction on your record can have lasting consequences, not only on employment options, but in some cases travel. And not to mention what this can lead to if you're involved in a collision. As a special roads policing officer, I've had to deal with many collisions, and some collisions obviously involve horrific injuries and indeed fatalities, because somebody took a risk that they shouldn't have taken. And for a police officer, one of the most difficult jobs is knocking on a door and telling a family that one of their own has been involved. As a young driver, you have the whole of your life ahead of you. Don't ruin it by making a bad decision.